Canada's trade war with the U.S. heats up and gets personal.
Because you're a loser.
What the tariff situation could mean for Alberta. Protecting children ahead of a new school year.
The goal is to use right safety treatment at the right location.
The pedestrian safety plan rolling out across Calgary. And celebrating a significant milestone. A Calgary company marks 1 billion cards sorted.
CTV Calgary, local breaking news with Jordan Canigan.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. Canada is expected to announce retaliatory tariffs against the United States tomorrow. It's part of the escalating trade war with our southern neighbors. Donald Trump is promising to hit Canada hard starting January 1st with punishing 50% tariffs on cars, trucks, auto parts and steel after talks collapsed on Friday. Here's CTV's senior political correspondent Mike LeCouture.
At the White House, President Donald Trump said nothing about the collapsed trade negotiations, instead doing his talking on social media. Repeating a claim that the U.S. doesn't need Canada, Trump also threatened to increase tariffs on the auto and steel sectors to 50% starting January 1st.
There is a mutually beneficial deal possible here.
While trying to remain hopeful, Prime Minister Mark Carney pushed back on any suggestion that Canada can't survive without the Americans.
An attitude at the negotiation table that Canada is a subsidiary of the United States. The Canadian industry is going to be disadvantaged relative to American industry. That's not something we're going to accept.
While Carney chose his words carefully, Ontario Premier Doug Ford went after Trump on radio.
Well, he can kiss my ass as far as I'm concerned. We're going to go at him full steam.
That comment may have teed off Trump, who responded online with another post, calling Carney governor and Ford a flunky for the prime minister.
You know, your own people, President Trump, don't even like you. And they're going to speak loud and clear when it comes to the midterms. And if I was allowed to, I'd be down there door knocking.
Ford also floated the idea of export taxes on products the U.S. needs, like energy, potash, and critical minerals. It's something premiers and the prime minister have been hesitant to consider, but in French, Carney said all options are on the table. Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre is calling for the text of the failed deal to be made public.
Canadians need to know what it is that we are rejecting. My view is that we need to fight for tariff-free trade.
The Prime Minister has threatened dollar-for-dollar counter-tariffs on the U.S. starting the day after Labor Day. Details of what Canada will target are expected Tuesday morning. We're also anticipating to hear about government relief measures for workers and businesses affected by American tariffs. Mike LeCouture, CTV News, Ottawa.
Now, this trade war is affecting each province differently. The impact is not as severe in Alberta, as much of our exports are exempt from Donald Trump's tariffs. Tyson Fedor explains.
BC, Ontario, and Quebec will soon feel the pinch of 50% tariffs on goods from those provinces. Economist Trevor Tombe crunched the numbers, and he says that U.S. tariffs will only impact less than 1% of Alberta's exported goods if this trade war continues.
Only about, I estimate, 0.5% of Alberta exports are affected by these tariffs. Far less than what we see in Ontario or British Columbia or Quebec. But Alberta is home to many suppliers to exporters located elsewhere in the country.
With Alberta feeling very minimal impact, Premier Danielle Smith is calling for calm through diplomacy rather than retaliatory measures.
We have not, called names on the president at podiums to be able to get, cheers and laughter.
Smith supports Canada withdrawing from trade talks last week, but some political watchers believe she is looking to appease all sides in the trade fight.
So Danielle Smith, as a politician, as we've seen historically, is trying to appeal to those who are less affected by the tariffs and worried about what retaliation might mean for other industries, and those who are being affected by the tariffs and are looking for some kind of relief.
Former Premier Jason Kenney wants Canada to match dollar-for-dollar tariffs, which remains on the table, along with more measured approaches.
We're dealing with a counterparty in President Trump's administration that is erratic impulsive, unpredictable.
Kenny believes Alberta and Saskatchewan need to rethink a U.S. booze ban in spite of rising rhetoric from the U.S. administration.
Shifting from, bourbon to Alberta rye or U.S. To BC wines, and strengthens the Canadian economy at zero cost to us.
With tariffs on dairy, booze, and building materials, Alberta's oil and gas remains exempt from any hard-hitting measures from President Trump.
The reason that oil and gas is not being tariffed is because the American economy wants oil prices, gas prices at the pump to be lower than higher.
And with further U.S. tariffs starting in the new year, Ottawa is announcing its own retaliatory tariffs on Tuesday.
We're in a trade war. This is an act of aggression from the United States. And so, look, I think there can be, increasing aggressive actions.
Tyson Fedor, CTV News, Calgary.
Premier Danielle Smith says using Canadian oil and energy as a bargaining chip should not be considered. Smith says she recognizes that tariffs have a disproportionate impact on Ontario, but says the focus for Canada should be breaking down interprovincial trade barriers and supporting businesses and workers affected. Now, while those businesses brace for impact, travelers may be exploring fresh options. Tyler Barrow has more on how jet setters are reacting to the latest trade talk.
San Diego resident Lauren Cajal is heading home with memories and a feeling of frustration towards her government over its tariff battles with Canada.
It's embarrassing to me because I feel like that's not what most Americans stand for, and we want to be friendly neighbors.
Other Americans visiting Calgary shared similar feelings.
Don't understand what we're doing, and we're friends.
I feel terrible about jobs that could be lost up here. I feel terrible about higher prices in the United States. So I think it's all a terrible mistake.
And for Canadians planning to travel, one expert says hard feelings could lead to travelers avoiding the States.
Clients aren't booking right away. They really are taking time to make that decision.
While some are already avoiding.
We don't have any plans in the near future to go anywhere near the States.
Decided to never travel to the U.S. Under this administration.
Recent data shows Canadians were softening in their effort to avoid America, but this new conflict could renew the sentiment to avoid all things American. One retail expert points to how close Canadians were paying attention to the latest rounds of talks, ending in the 11th hour with Trump's administration pushing for too much.
When consumers hear these kinds of narratives, it's going to really engage them back into that strong feeling that they need to buy as many Canadian goods as possible.
Tyler Barrow, CTV News, Calgary.
Let's bring Danielle now, and a lot of children are going to be heading back to school soon, but kind of one final go at summer for many.
Aren't we lucky?
Yeah.
The last week of summer, and it's actually going to be summer. Now, I will say this. Today, we had perfect temperatures, right where they should be, not too hot, not too cold. It will start to get hotter tomorrow, and then hotter after that even. So, brace for some heat this week, absolutely. 13 degrees at 8 a.m. to kick off the day. Lots of sunshine throughout the day. Really good air quality throughout the day as well. Stable, but in the afternoon hours, we're looking at humidity feeling closer to 27. Your long-range forecast coming up.
Thank you, Danielle. A man suffered serious injuries after a hit and run this afternoon. The pedestrian was struck at 3:30 at the intersection of 52nd Street and 44th Avenue Northeast. That's in Temple. Police closed the intersection as part of their investigation. So far, there is no description of the vehicle they are looking for. An Airdrie man has pleaded guilty to second-degree murder in the death of a 29-year-old woman. Stephen Aaron Zwick was initially charged with first-degree murder in the death of Chelsea Davidinas in 2024. Davidinas' body was found northeast of Carsland in April of that year. Police alleged 2 months earlier, Davidinas was lured by two men she knew to a home on Rundlehorn Drive Northeast. Investigators believe she was killed inside the home. The other suspect, Paul Joseph Rushton of Calgary, is scheduled to go on trial in January. Well, two people are facing nearly 200 charges in a fraud case that targeted several Costco locations around Calgary. Police say over the course of about 3 months, a woman used altered or fraudulent barcodes from lower-priced items to buy higher-priced electronics like TVs and computers. They estimate they did this on more than $30,000 worth of items, and that a man was also involved in the transactions. Police found a stolen 65-inch TV along with multiple instruments for forgery and fraud after executing a search warrant in the Northeast, along with about $6,000 worth of drugs. 41-year-old Christy Konstantinov is facing 70 charges in the case, while 39-year-old Aaron Head is facing 119 charges. A vehicle nicked a plus 15 on 5th Avenue Southwest today. No one was hurt, and the damage to the walkway is minor. One lane of traffic was closed for a short time. Well, it's a busy time of year as parents are getting their kids ready for another school year. And amidst the rush, the City of Calgary is sending a reminder about making the commute to school safer. Here's Moses Waldo.
It's that time of year as parents get their children ready for back to school.
We print off the list of what we need, and then we make sure that we go through and we see what we've got from last year, and then we just come through and try to find it for the best deal wherever we can get it.
While Amanda Hibbs and many parents like her are crossing off school items off their child's checklist, the city is also crossing off important items on their list at several school zones to make sure kids get to and from school safe.
The goal is not simply to add infrastructure. The goal is to use right safety treatment at the right location.
It's part of a strategy by the city adding traffic calming measures at 50 schools across the city, from adding speed cushions to extending curbs.
These make a huge difference. People will look ahead of them and see that the road is narrower and will automatically start to slow down.
We have eyes on the roads. We get those cues from the schools and school boards and general public. When they complain, we review that and then come up with proper solution.
In addition to those measures, rectangular rapid flash beacons, or RFBs, that can be seen at eye height for drivers are also being implemented. The city says their studies show these tools can make a difference.
Before the installation of those RFBs, the yielding compliance level to the pedestrians by drivers was about 70 to 75%. But when we install them, the compliance level has gone up from 95 to 100%.
Calgary police are reminding motorists and pedestrians to obey the rules around school zones, as there will be a police presence throughout the month of September.
We go out not to do enforcement, to give out tickets. We go out for education only, initially, because we understand that everybody's going to be nervous. Everybody's worried about getting their kids to school.
These safety measures are a relief for Hibbs, whose kids walk to school.
I feel like it's 100% safer for them to be going across by themselves.
Moses Wildu, CTV News, Calgary.
Coming up, the deadline for WestJet flight attendants to vote on a new deal has passed. We'll tell you what was on the table and how cabin crew members voted.
You're watching CTV News, Calgary.
The federal government has announced a new alliance to address workforce challenges in a key economic sector. Jobs Minister Patty Hajdu was in Calgary to announce the Transportation and Supply Chain Alliance. It will be focused on addressing persistent labor shortages in the industry. It also aims to strengthen skill development, attract new talent, and adapt to new technology. The minister says it will help address hiring challenges.
We've often heard from employers that they can't find the talent they need with the skills that they need. And conversely, we've heard from new graduates or people who choose to pursue training in a specific sector that they do all that training and then they find it really hard to find a job in the sector that they've chosen.
The transportation and warehousing sector contributed nearly $100 billion to Canada's GDP in 2024 and contains more than 1 million jobs. The announcement follows other alliances formed in mining and advanced manufacturing. WestJet flight attendants have voted overwhelmingly in favor of ratifying a new contract with the airline. The vote, which wrapped this afternoon, saw 90% of members cast a ballot in favor of the deal. The agreement includes a more than 18% pay hike over 3 years and compensation for work done on the ground. Nearly 4,400 flight attendants went on strike for a day earlier this month, prompting more than 900 flight cancellations. The new deal will run until the end of 2028. Well, as the U.S. president threatens even more tariffs and the trade war escalates, some Alberta businesses are bracing for impact. For the time being, Alberta oil and gas is not one of those industries, but beekeepers are feeling the sting as the province that exports the most natural honey. Jeremy Thompson reports.
It's extraction season for Alberta beekeepers, when months of careful planning and pollinating culminate in a honey harvest. For Richard Ozero, the recent collapse of trade talks between Canada and the United States has taken a bit of the buzz out of the room.
These disruptions in the markets is really, it couldn't come at a worse time, because this is when we're starting to barrel up our honey and get it ready for sale.
Alberta is Canada's biggest honey exporter. About $6 million worth a year typically heads across the border. As one of the products now facing a 50% import tariff, fewer American customers are likely to buy Canadian.
The Canadian honey has to go somewhere. If it's backed up back into Canada, now we're facing a glut of honey here, and that's going to suppress prices if we can't find other international buyers or encourage Canadian honey consumption.
The head of the Alberta Beekeepers Commission says some businesses are expecting job losses, even closures, if this level of tariff lasts.
So this isn't just a jobs impact or economic impact, it's a food security impact. So without the bee industry, we can actually see key crops also impacted.
Honey is one of dozens of Canadian goods set to face a 50% bump in American tariffs starting August 29th.
I think the most important thing for an Alberta audience is that it's not oil and gas. And that's pretty much the sum total of the exercise. It's not food, beef, cattle. Those things continue to remain free from tariffs.
About $1.5 billion of Alberta exports will be affected, which economist Moshe Lander says is a relatively small piece of the economic pie.
The problem is that the whole point of this exercise is to try and engineer a way back to free trade, not to engineer away from it.
It's another unpredictable element for an industry that's already facing lower yields because of recent wet weather.
It's hard to plan for something that you don't know when it's going to end, if this is a temporary measure or if this is years and years of fighting against our biggest partner and friend and ally.
Jeremy Thompson, CTV News, Edmonton.
Well, a nice midweek warm-up is on the way. Danielle will have plenty more coming up next.
Okay, today was pretty perfect in the city. Temperatures right where they should be for this time of year, so not too hot, not too cold. The sun was out, the winds were calm, in Calgary anyway, and the air quality was ideal. We were on 2, so low on that air quality health index, which means really good air quality. All right, so let's look at daytime highs. 23 was the high in Banff and Calgary, Rocky Mountain House and Edmonton, and in those mid-20s, Drumheller, Brooks, Medicine Hat, down through Lethbridge and Milk River. Again, temperatures pretty much where they should be for this time of year. It did get windy closer to the Saskatchewan border, so we had pretty tame winds, but gusted up to 43 kilometers per hour in Calgary, in the 30s for Lethbridge, 52 for Brooks, and 63 was the max in Medicine Hat, and that's because of the system that many of us dealt with last night is now off into Saskatchewan, but we've been getting the winds pushing in up and around that system. So certainly it has been gusty closer to the Saskatchewan border, but that is starting to ease. And tomorrow we're looking at calm winds in all communities in southern Alberta. So for tomorrow, we're looking at sunshine, calm winds, still really good air quality. The one key thing about tomorrow is it will be a little bit hotter and we'll have a little humidity start to build in. Temperatures are going to get hotter and hotter each day over these next 3 days. As we head into Wednesday, a good amount of sunshine for the morning hours. One key thing, though, as we head to the supper hours in the southwest corner, that's when we're looking at the chance of showers and thunderstorms. And then pushing into Lethbridge and Milk River closer to 8, 9 o'clock, so in the evening hours, early evening hours. Again, this is a southwest corner type of activity, so everywhere else is just looking at getting some cloud cover and maybe a little bit of wind. Okay, as we talk about air quality, because we're going to get the winds out of the southeast, is going to push all that smoke off to the west. So we're looking at really good air quality for the next couple of days, remaining low on the air quality health index in all of southern Alberta. Looking at that longer range forecast, 25 degrees in the city for tomorrow, but with the humidity, it will feel closer to 27. Lots of sunshine. And then by Wednesday and Thursday, mainly sunny skies. And temperatures, our daytime high around that 30-degree mark. So it will be hot for Wednesday and Thursday. By Friday, yes, there is the chance of thunderstorms in the evening and then a greater chance of seeing it on Saturday. Check out the temperature by Saturday, though. Only a high of 19.
Thank you, Danielle. Still to come, a Calgary-based business goes global. The card sorting crew crosses the billion mark. A Calgary business with humble origins recently celebrated a significant milestone. TCG Machines, a company that makes a trading card sorting machine, sorted its 1 billionth card. Tommy Osborne reports on the homegrown business that has since gone global.
1 billion trading cards have been scanned through the FizzBatch 9000, a machine built right here in Calgary by TCG Machines.
We sort on average at the moment somewhere between 2 to 2.5 million cards per day, fleet-wide.
1 billion cards. That's 2,000 tons of cardboard. If you stacked it all into a giant tower, it would go 321 kilometers high, reaching well into outer space.
We're still just scratching the surface. It's a huge industry. I think market cap for it this year should be around 20 billion.
SentryBox Cards says the machine saves 50 to 100 hours a week, as it has hundreds of thousands of unsorted cards. It's so efficient, it changed the store's internal operations.
We've kind of reworked our business model of the downstairs behind the scenes operations around the machine to be as efficient as possible.
The machine can sort to very specific requirements like card cost, different art styles, in-game mechanics, and more.
The possibilities are seemingly endless, it feels, and we are so much more efficient in being able to sort cards, as well as since it can scan and take a database of our cards, we can then just upload them immediately onto our website, and it's amazing.
TCG Machines started when a hobbyist got tired of sorting manually, so he engineered the solution. From selling out of the back of a van to now serving around the world, TCG Machines is only growing in popularity as demand for sorting heats up.
We're at about 400 or so machines right now. We're worldwide, so we're in about 20 countries at the moment. We just opened up Australia, Japan.
Webster feels they're just getting started, and more upgrades are in the works.
Language detection is not something the machine does right now, but it is the #1 thing we're working on. So while it doesn't do it today, it probably will within a few months.
Tommy Osborne, CTV News, Calgary.
9th Avenue below the Calgary Tower was closed off to traffic yesterday afternoon for good reason. 200 exotic supercars rolled into the area. Porsches, Lamborghinis, Ferraris, and more, all on display. Donations were collected for the Alberta Children's Hospital Foundation. It was a chance for car lovers to see rare cars up close. It's the first time the event has been held beneath the tower. That does it for our show this evening. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you here tomorrow.